Okay, harmonization with one other person, like we said, is the cosmic purpose for all relationships. And this is marital relationships, business relationships, siblings, and twins. So if you're not harmonizing with your business partner, then you're not achieving a greater exponential energy use. But if you do, then you know, it's no different than in a personal relationship. But business relationships do get personal, that you do share energy. And so your combined energy is important for the manifestation of the whole business. Okay, so N squared increases your ability to manifest. And again, to really harmonize, with two people harmonizing, N equals 2, the true concept of harmonization is you'd have to release all your fears of somebody actually reading all of your thoughts. If you were telepathic and the person knew everything that you knew and you could see your thoughts, then you're truly achieving N equals 2. So we know that not very many relationships are at that level. But that is the purpose for them, is to try to achieve those levels. And you know, we all know people who they know when their spouse does something, or they can feel that their spouse is trying to get a hold of them, or you know, there are people out there who do that. But I'm not sure they do it at the full harmonization level that we're talking about. Okay, so group harmonization, or what I call a social memory complex, is complete shared thought. In other words, we're talking about N in the higher levels of, you know, N greater than 2. And, you know, N could be 1,000,000 on some level in the universe. And my belief is that they are at those levels, and that's how they can manifest things such as solar systems and other amazing things on the planet, or in the universe. So a large enough number of beings together has an exponential amount of power and energy to use to manifest. And increasing levels of N squared energy utilization is what I'd hope we could see in our lifetime. More than just N equals 2, I'd like to see something like this in our lifetime. Okay, true harmonization, again, requires healing, clearing your blockages, so there's no fear, judgment, and revealing all of your thoughts, memories, consciousness with the other person. No secrets. So we all know about balance. This is why we want to balance. Now let's talk about the things that we can balance, or that we know are things that can be balanced. And everybody knows about mind, body, spirit. I mean, it's a very common term that's used. And then we've got emotional, physical, spiritual, and material, because the mind, body, spirit doesn't really take into account the material world that we tend to live in. So a lot of people break it out into the 4 so that material is separate. And obviously emotional balance includes healing your past, healing your issues with self-love, and reprogramming your thoughts. Physical balance might include, you know, improving how you eat, exercising, environmental exposures, and how much risk you're willing to take on a physical level. Some people base jump, some people skydive. They have higher risks than going probably, well, maybe not than driving around town, but anyway, you can get the point, is that one of the things to balance is how much risk you need to take versus how much risk you're willing to take. Spiritual balance includes clearing blockages, increasing your polarity. And again, in this chart here, we're going to show how important polarity is, and increasing it in either direction can help you manifest. Learning from your experiences, centering, meditation, and finding inner peace. On the material level, of course, having a good perspective on your needs is important, so that you can manifest a balanced material world. Having an enjoyable job, and harmonic goals. In other words, some people say, well, I'm going to win the lottery next week, and they don't. Well, I mean, was it realistic to be, you know, just fantasizing about that, or were they really able to manifest that? And that's what you come down to, is it's important to have some harmonic and realistic goals when you're understanding manifestation. Okay, your emotional state affects all other aspects of balance. You can imagine why. We already talked about, if you're traumatized emotionally, you program your physical body, so obviously you're affecting your health. If you're emotional, if you have emotional issues, you can not do good work at your job, or, you know, have problems manifesting wealth. And so, and of course, if you have emotional issues, you might not be willing to sit down long enough to work on your spiritual balance. So emotional is important for all, it affects them all, but spiritual growth heals all aspects of balance. Now, I would not have known that had I not gone through this myself. But all I ever tried to do is achieve a higher level of spiritual growth. I didn't care about money, I didn't care about the spiritual gifts, and I wasn't concerned about anything else but becoming a better person. And through that process, everything else happened by itself, which was kind of a revelation to me. I was like, oh, that's cool. So I don't really have to think about money as much as, you know, we're taught. I don't have to think about money at all. And that was a total revelation. Okay, so then we have the key to balance is learning how to apply all 4 aspects of balance into everything that you do, obviously. We know that that's what balance is really about, so that whenever you do anything, you take into account everything that's involved in balance. All right, now we're going to get into the chakras a little bit, because the chakras are important, and there is a sheet that you have. Everybody should have this page in their information. And I will say this, you could spend probably 2 to 4 hours just talking about the chakras, so we aren't going to spend a lot of time talking about the chakras. Some people believe there are a lot of chakras more than what I'm going to talk about, and it's not so important as the basic ones, or the 7. They go from the base of the spine to the top of the head, and then often people will talk about the other 5 for a total of 12, and my understanding of those is that they extend outside of your body 2 different levels above you, or into the universe, you could even say. All right, the most important ones we'll talk about are the first 7. And we'll talk about the root chakra, which is at the base of your spine. And it's got a color, it's got a astrological sign, they've got tones, they've got symbols, they've got virtually anything you can think of. Each chakra has something unique. So each chakra has a separate tone, each chakra has a separate color, and so forth. And the most important things to know about the chakras is that that's where energy comes into our body from. So when it comes through us, and it comes through our chakras, the ones that it comes through more powerfully are the ones we rely on. And that's also, they have physical and emotional and addictive concepts. Obviously, the physical relationships it has to your tailbone, your legs, your feet, sexual organs, and overall vitality. The emotional or psycho-emotional relationships include survival, safety, physical strength, and the ability to ground yourself. So for people that have issues with safety, physical strength, and ability to ground themselves, probably their chakra, or base chakra or root chakra is closed more than it should be. Okay? Now, you can have addictions and problems if those chakras are closed. Those include the use of physical force and exercise to resolve issues. Okay? Now, that may be that your base chakra is open. In other words, you're using that force because you can't deal with the issues that are coming through other chakras. So you're using your base chakra. The spleen chakra, which is orange, is right below the navel. And again, you've got the sign of water, the astrological signs, and of course the physical relationships are spleen, ovaries, adrenal, uterus, kidney, urinary tract. And of course, the psycho-emotional relationships are feelings, emotional needs, reproductivity, intimacy, and warmth. So basically, you can see by the emotional relationships that somebody who expresses a lot of feelings has an open chakra, and the second chakra is very open, and somebody who can't express feelings has it closed. Okay? Solar plexus chakra, which is yellow, is confidence, willpower, control, mental energy, decision making. And you can see that you can be compulsive and addictive by having issues with that chakra.